Welcome, gamers and learners. We're gonna get started with our stream for tonight. I'm so excited, our first, real time to get to play through things for, our Decades Challenge. Welcome, Lily! Yeah, you haven't missed it yet. I'm super stoked. We are gonna be getting started, taking a look at our house. Last night on the stream, we went through and, built the shell of the house and built the exterior. And I'm so stoked because we're actually gonna get to go through and play. So off stream, I finished a couple different things. One being that I finished our Decade Challenge scorecard. So it's gonna be the way that we go through and we're kind of keeping track of how well or not well the challenge is going. So I am super stoked for that. And I also finished the house itself, in terms of the interior. It turned into a bit of a monster house. It was a little bit bigger than I anticipated, but it's fine. It'll work out, and we'll get a chance to kind of check out some of the cool stuff there. So we're gonna go ahead then and dive on in to kicking things off with our Price family. So yesterday we created the Price family consisting of, we have Mr. Rolly Price, who is the founder of our family. We have Lorelei Price, his wife, and we have Elaine Price, who is Rolly's mom. I am super excited. So I'll take you guys on a tour of the house first. I feel like the tour of the house is Victorian era rendition of Cribs from MTV. But hopefully it'll be a little more impressive than some of the episodes on Cribs ended up aging. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the house itself first. There we go, get that roof on there. So this is the house. I am so proud with how it turned out and everything. So we have a 2-floor Victorian home, and then we have our little tower that goes up to the 3rd floor, which that tower was my mortal enemy last night, so I'm happy that we got it looking like it belongs. Have all of our features for a good Victorian home, beautiful bay windows, lots of windows. We have a couple of statue decorations as well on top of our home. And then we have some good fencing, all sorts of good stuff. So as we take a look at the house, we have our bay windows and beautiful windows on the side. In the back, we have a greenhouse that's actually been added on. So that's kind of been one of the changes from yesterday, is that we went ahead and added a greenhouse, as well as I completed my little special project that I am so stoked for the interior, taking a little bit of inspiration from a unique but very real Victorian home that I got the chance to visit in London. And then we have over to the side, we have our laundry that we can hang out to dry, because part of the Decades Challenge, of course, indicates that we can't have things that didn't exist in their time period. So we have our outhouse that's out there. We have our laundry that's out there. We don't have any washing machines or anything that we get to use just yet. I am already hesitant on how long that's gonna take. Yeah, excellent. This is good. See, Brass, it's gonna be perfect though, because then it's like the HGTV shows where they send the homeowners away and then they come back and are move that bus, and then you get to see the whole beautiful house. So we just did Extreme Makeover Home Edition. So I kind of like that view of the house. It looks perfect right there. Love all our different colors we have going on. Took a lot of inspiration from the painted lady houses that were really common with Victorian times, and trying to do those really beautiful colors and having some pretty neat accents to it as well. Oh good, I'm glad that you like the color scheme outside. I spent forever trying to figure out the best way to go for it, and I almost went with this peachy color to the house and then having more pink accents, but I was like, I like this better. It keeps things a little more muted and everything, but still gives some of that dramatic flair. Oh, and then I totally forgot that along our tower, we actually have, there we go. We actually have windows that go all the way around. So as you look into the tower itself, you'll actually see that the windows start at the top and then kind of spiral downward as they go, as best they could. I did my best to space it out, but there are some limitations in terms of what Sims allows me to do or not do. So yeah, so we got our cool tower that has no function right now other than to just look neat. And I want to get checking out inside the house now. So we'll go ahead and take a look. I'm going to switch my camera back. All right, so as said before, our second floor actually currently doesn't have anything in it, and that's a little weird, I will say, but part of it is because I kind of realized pretty late into the build that I made the house a bit wider than I really wanted to, and so I kind of compensated for the fact that this is our starter home and I want the family to have a place to like grow into. That for now the second floor is kind of closed off. We're keeping them on the first floor probably until about, I'd probably say until about our first kid, the first baby of the family becomes like an actual kid and like needs his own room or needs his own space, or as we need like a gallery or something beautiful like that. So that means though that I get an even more dramatic reveal on the bottom. So this is our home. I'm so proud of it. There was a ton of work that went into this part. So I'm super, super stoked for this house. Giving kind of a brief run-through tour, we first have our entryway that people will walk into. So we have a cute little foyer. Thank you, Mittendorf. I am proud. So we have our cute little foyer that people walk into, and then it comes out into our hallway. Entering into our main hallway included some lovely decorations and everything, so that way it's just very proper. I'll be honest, I 100% went over budget from I think what you're supposed to do, but it looks so beautiful I don't really care. And I have a way we'll balance that out in the game itself. So first room off of our hallway is a nice little study. We have our chests, as well as an art easel, since we have some art lovers in the family. Went ahead and added in some bookcases and a writing desk. So our nice little study, kind of cute area that we get to roll with. Our next room up, this is actually going to be Elaine's room. So this is the grandma's room. So she has her bed, she actually has her little bath that's off of the room. So we were allowed to have baths in-house as opposed to in the outhouse. But it'll be a minute before she gets to have a fully upgraded bathroom. Moving on from grandma's room, this will eventually be the baby's room. So gave the baby like cute little train to play with, cute little boat. As maybe we have one of the kids get older, they can stay in here, and then they have a little desk that they can do their schoolwork from. So trying to keep it cute. On the other side of our house, I'm purposely saving one of our rooms for last because I am the most proud of it. We have our dining room here. We have our nice little dining set. You'll notice there's the candles everywhere because we don't have electricity that we can use for the Victorian era because it's just now starting up. Yeah, I went all out. I am so excited. The downside is the family might be starting a little in debt, but it's fine. They'll accumulate generational wealth. It'll be great. Something like that. But yeah, so like even down to like I have curtains in each of our rooms for like real grand dramatic curtains. I have a couple collectible plates and everything as well. Yeah, I really thought that the candles were a really, really good touch. I wasn't sure about them at first just because I was like, things are gonna be like dark or it's gonna be really hard to light everything. But it turned out pretty well and I'm here for it. So we have our kitchen. This is probably the spot that maybe has, this is probably our spot that has a couple of things that maybe aren't as accurate, but we tried. So we did go with having the oldest, the vintage icebox and the wood-burning stove. That was the close. In Sims, we kind of need to have like the oven and the refrigerator for food and everything. So we at least went for the one that like fit the theme best. As we go through the decades, they can change which ones they have so that instead of the wood-burning stove, they get like an actual oven and everything. But we have a nice little table where they can start prepping things, as well as some of the counters. We have our kind of gothic style sink as well. And we have, because of course, Victorian era, we need a tea set. We need a tea set. That just has to happen. So we have our tea set going there. We have a nice little breakfast nook that if a couple Sims want to sit and eat there, they can. No worries. I mean, I made the big, beautiful dining room, but I guess if they want to sit in the kitchen, they can. I won't be bitter. Super much. Okay. And then we have the living room. In our family living room, parlor area. This is definitely our biggest room in the house. And probably if I did make the house smaller, I was gonna have to cut a lot of this, as well as like an entire bedroom, bathroom, and move it all upstairs. And I'll be honest, I just didn't feel like it. So, still pretty accurate though. We have piano since we have some music lovers in the family, a nice good grandfather clock, beautiful fireplace with some artwork. We actually have, and I don't think you can actually use this for gameplay, because that would be really cool if you could. I wanted to include photography in here since it got really started for families at home in like the 1880s and 1890s. I thought that would be really cool to kind of start with that. But all the digital cameras that Sims has in their shop are like newer digital cameras, and they don't really have anything super old. So this is actually just an art piece, I believe, but I like having the old time camera there in the center. Like they would show it off to their friends when they come over. We actually have a game table so people can play cards at the table, and a really pretty statue of a lady because it's dramatic, so why not? And then as we go up, we have our hallway, nice little nook that has our table in there. We have our bath, and this can be accessed both from the main bedroom and from the parlor, though I guess it'll be weird if guests just take baths at the house. And then we have the master bedroom. So this is gonna be for Rolly and for Lorelai. So they have, again, their little sitting area and a tea set. They have their bed. Yeah, see? We gotta show off to Bianca, and we gotta show off to all of them that the camera is fantastic. That's how we innovate here. That's what's gonna happen, is this family's gonna end up making all their money off of like photography. Up along the hallway, I gave them a greenhouse, in part because for the ladies of the house, this frustrates me on a personal level, that for the Victorian era, the women in Sims are not allowed to have jobs. Period. They're not allowed to freelance, no part-time work, no career before getting married, no career while they're married. The most that can happen is if they are divorced or widowed, they can kind of do some freelance work, sort of, in a few fields, very little. So one thing that I kind of wanted to do is give them a place where they could, do some hobbies or something. So we have our greenhouse here, and that brings me to my favorite room. I am so excited for this one. This is the room that is based off of the artist Frederick Leighton. He actually had what was called the Arab Hall in his house, and I am so stoked for this. This is 100% inspired by this really, really beautiful house that I saw when I was in London. And it looked, for the most part, like a typical Victorian London home. Except that then you just look over to your left and all of a sudden you see this beautiful like Turkish hall that has these mosaics, all this beautiful tile work, and just really evokes a totally different setting than you would think of for London. So I just thought it'd be kind of cool to like recreate that. I gave them their own Arab hall. What's cool too is that when the walls are up, you can see the door into it. also fits that theme. So think about like when they really want to show off to people. They have people like, oh yeah, it's just in the wooden room, cool, cool, cool. They walk through the door and whoa, what is that? And then they walk in and then they see the Arab Hall. Will it be functional? They can sit there. That's about it. So they can sit and chat and everything. Other than that, it's a little bit of like a show-off piece, 100%. That is our Victorian home that we kicked things off with. As we have the family expand and there's more kiddos added to the mix, we'll add in a staircase and we'll probably do like a little bit of reno and maybe put like either all the bedrooms upstairs or at least some of them upstairs and leave some of them downstairs. And then as we go from generation to generation, that'll change up what we're allowed to use. And so we can do things like add in electricity and lights, or what will be my personal favorite is move the bathroom from outside to inside. I feel like that'll just be a big help. I've been working really hard on this house and like perfecting all the little details. So I am okay with the fact that the family's gonna start out with a bit of debt to start. They'll still have spending money and everything. I'm gonna make it so that they have to like pay, like they have to pay that back. They have to pay back like the loan that they had, so that way it makes it a bit more fair from what it's supposed to start as. I just got carried away and ran with it. I think it's about time we get the ball rolling. Ha! Get it? His name is Rolly. Get the ball rolling. I'm gonna make so many puns on his name by the end of this, I am sure. So we'll go ahead and get started then with our Sims. In 3, 2, 1. They're alive! And just standing there, but they're alive! The first thing I think that Rolly's stealing my heart already, because 100% I was going to have the first thing he did was going to be to go get a job. And the first thing he did was instead to go kiss his wife. So Rolly already winning the points for being a good Victorian gentleman. We're going to let them explore the house for a second. I want to kind of, and then I'll make him get a job. I just kind of want to see what they all are going to gravitate to. Lorelai's just jumping to doing sit-ups directly in front of her mother-in-law. I mean, you know, you gotta stay active. And she's gonna start playing violin. Lovely. Okay, you know, she gotta start somewhere. It'll be alright. Someday. Not right now. What is that? Is that a library? We'll go to the library. It's proper enough. Going to a manor to go to a library to go get a job. We gave the trait to the lot that's called off the grid. That means that the whole house is not connected to power or water, which again, fitting for Victorian times and good. But yeah, 100% means that we can't do anything that needs internet right now until we can get power. So he's gonna go find a job. Lorelai is she just fit. She's been doing sit-ups and push-ups since we got here. We have a couple options in terms of what he can do, but he can't do everything. Like, for example, he can't go be an astronaut in Victorian times. That would be pretty impressive if he could. He can be a criminal, which is a heck of a way to start, a doctor, an educator, engineer, entertainer. He can be a freelance writer, a gardener, a lawyer, military, politician, scientist, or do writing. No, they didn't have business. They didn't have business as an option? I feel like that makes sense. Ugh. Okay, fine. Yeah, it is gonna be interesting to see the olden day Sims, especially like in action with everything. I feel like a lot of times when we think about like back in ye olden day, it's almost like it's so far away they don't feel like people, even though they are. And so it'll be kind of cool to get to see their lives in action. Dr. Rolly Price it is. Intern Rolly Price it is. Elaine cannot be on the computer. Day 1 Victorian times. We have sit-ups and push-ups. And we have using free Wi-Fi at the library. We are very accurate so far. They are gonna be good ladies and go say hi to their neighbors. Oh yeah, I forgot. Elaine wants to be the super parent. Meanwhile, Lorelai's like, I just want to go hang out with the ladies. Yeah, Elaine's just making friends with her her son. He's only talking to his mom. I feel like we've accidentally made a mama's boy. I think I want to see if Lorelai can get started on painting. I've kind of taken some of the rules from the Decades challenge and some of the rules that I really like from the Legacy challenge and like smushed them together in a lovely way. One of the rules they have in there that I really like is another way to make like everybody or make word points and everything is to actually make a memorial for each of your sins. And so one way that you can do that is actually through like painting a portrait of everybody or writing a song about somebody or things like that. See, they're also polite and making friends and being good people and keeping their guests outside. I made this beautiful home and they won't invite anyone inside. What is that? They brought fruitcake to my house. When Sims are first told to try fruitcake, it's actually randomly decided if they like or don't like fruitcake. So I'm really curious to see what each of them decide. Hope you like the fruitcake. It's a family heirloom. I really hope they don't mean that it's like a family heirloom. That one cake has lasted them generations. I really hope they mean it's like, oh, it's a family recipe. Yeah, so they can have affairs in the game, and actually, this is gonna be so sad to start. The only way in the Victorian era right now, and for quite some time, that Sims can get divorced is if they have an affair on their openly in front of their spouse. So yes, there could be some scandalous romances. Lined up and everything. Okay, Elaine likes fruitcake. Lorelai likes fruitcake. Really hates fruitcake. And look at her being a good lady of the house, and she's going around and making sure everything stays clean for the guests. And wait, no, she just set it on the table? Girl. Oh, like, go clean it. There we go. So she cleaning things up. They're having a nice little dinner party. We need to use the outhouse. And Elaine's just over here living her best life. Oh, gosh, I didn't think about how long of a walk that is, especially if they're over there doing the little, like, walk of, I need to pee, but I'm really, really holding it. That is a way longer walk than I anticipated it being. Okay. Just random Sergio dude just shows up at our house very late compared to the rest of the party. It's fine, it's not like punctuality matters. Looks like a little book club that's going on, like, they had their little fruitcake, and now here's their little book club happening and everything. The rules for the challenge and everything are interesting, because they limit a lot. Like, in terms of the artwork that you can create or that you can use, I think Impressionism is the highest one they'll let you do. There's, like, no pop art, no surrealism, none of that. Why is he back? I thought everyone went home. But he... Okay. We'll make Elaine say goodbye. She'll be like, go home. She doesn't even know him. She didn't even get to introduce herself to him, but she's like, hello, get out. Oh. Look at them hanging out and talking and just chilling. I think I recognize the painting she's making. It looks like, oh, what is it? It's like the Marriage of Amalfi or something like, it's something like that. I really just messed up that title. Oh, wow, 100% got the title wrong. So the Arnolfini portrait, that is 100% what she's painting right now. Because there's the guy, yeah, there's the guy, and then there's his wife that's there. So that's a classical painting, Marriage of Arnolfini. Or not, I keep saying marriage, it's not marriage. Arnolfini portrait. I think marriage is coming to mind because it's the guy and his wife that's being depicted. Yeah, but that's 100% what she's painting. I kind of dig that they're actually basing her they're basing the painting on real things. I'm an art history nerd, so that makes me happy. Okay, we're also going to have them, since they've had a lovely day together, they can go ahead and try for their baby. And fast forwarding through the night, there's a dog staring at me. Oh, are they gonna have to add ice? Oh! realize that was gonna have to be a thing. Okay, this is fine. Apparently our fruitcake did spoil. I didn't realize we had to add... This is gonna sound super dumb in retrospect, but I didn't realize we had to add ice to the icebox. He does have to take a bath. So even though there's a shower that's attached to it, we're not allowed to use the shower for a couple decades. So it's gonna be baths and bubble baths for days. And I'm actually gonna watch her real carefully, because I know it's just fruit salad, but somehow my Sims always end up setting places on fire, and that actually gets us negative points in the challenge, if they set things on fire. Then she'll come back and take a bath. A quick and tepid bath. That sounds so sad. Elaine needs to get dressed. She is still wandering around in her PJs, and that is not appropriate Victorian lady work. As part of the other things that we are not allowed to do, we are not allowed to go out to social gatherings with people and like go to the festivals and things like that, because that's just not a thing right now. She is jogging to do the laundry. Jogging. Its quality is poor too. I would keep it, but poor quality. Like, look at that. That's like, that is the painting, but with a cat face and a dog face. Oh, see, she's even laughing at it. So we may have a couple days where we have to go with him to work and leave the ladies on their own at home. And she's thinking she doesn't like Lorelai. That is lovely. How are the clothes? Are damp. Use some elbow grease and clean this place. But I feel like she's playing into that idea of the, like, that Victorian, I keep saying it's Victorian, but let's be honest, it's something that can happen today still, where, like, the daughter-in-law just really wants to impress the mother-in-law.
Yes.
And sometimes it's working, and sometimes it's not. And Lorelai, poor girl, it's not currently. They're all kind of struggling right now in their, in their respective things. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to attend 2 days with him as a doctor. So we'll get to see him at work, but he's 100% gonna be working in a field where he, like, he can't, he's not supposed to, be doing some of those things. We'll see how far we can get with, like, with him being a doctor. Maybe that'll be kind of an interesting challenge. See how far he can go as a doctor by not doing modern day things.